I put the salad on the table. My mother-in-law said the help doesn't eat with family. So I looked. The salad bowl felt unusually heavy in my hands as I carried it toward the dining table. It was our first evening at my husband's annual family reunion, held at an elegant beachfront resort. Everyone was laughing, drinking wine, and admiring the sunset. I simply noticed the staff was overwhelmed. Without thinking, I picked up the salad from the service station and brought it to the table. Hospitality had been part of my life for years. Helping never felt beneath me. The moment I placed it down, my mother-in-law, Diane, smiled politely. Then she said something that froze the entire room. The help doesn't eat with family. The words weren't loud. They didn't need to be. Every conversation stopped. Tom, my husband, stared at his plate. His cousins avoided eye contact. Even the servers looked uncomfortable. For a second, I wondered if she was joking. She wasn't. She honestly believed I worked there. I slowly set the bowl on the table and looked directly into her eyes. You think I'm part of the staff? She shrugged. Well, someone has to serve dinner. A few nervous laughs escaped around the table before quickly dying. I took a slow breath, refusing to let anger control me. Then I quietly asked the resort manager, who had just entered the dining room, to come over. He walked up immediately. Good evening, Miss Carter. Is everything all right? The room fell completely silent. I turned back to Diane. Would you like to repeat what you just said? Her confident smile disappeared. The manager looked confused. I spoke calmly. Diane believes I'm one of your employees. The manager's eyes widened. Ma'am, she owns this resort. The words hit the table like thunder. Nobody moved. Nobody even breathed. Tom looked at me with complete disbelief. You own this place? I nodded. Not only this one. I pulled a small card from my purse. My company owns 3 coastal resorts. This was my very first property. Diane's face turned pale. She looked from me to the manager, hoping someone would laugh and say it was all a misunderstanding. Nobody did. I didn't know, she whispered. I know, I replied. That's exactly why you judged me. The silence became unbearable. After several seconds, Diane stood up and walked out of the restaurant. Dinner continued, but no one tasted the food. Later that night, I found Diane sitting alone on a bench overlooking the ocean. Her shoulders were shaking. She wasn't crying because I was wealthy. She was crying because she had finally heard her own words the way everyone else had. When she noticed me, she stood immediately. I've spent my whole life deciding who people are in the first 10 seconds, she admitted. Tonight, I realized how ugly that makes me. I stayed quiet, she continued. When I saw you carrying that bowl, I never considered you might simply be helping. I only saw what I expected to see. I looked toward the waves crashing against the shore. My father washed dishes for 20 years, I said softly. He taught me that no honest job deserves disrespect. She lowered her head. I'm ashamed. I didn't hide my success to test anyone, I answered. I stayed quiet because I wanted to know whether I would be welcomed before people knew my bank account. For a long moment, only the sound of the ocean filled the night. Finally, Diane spoke again. I can't erase what I said. No, I replied, but you can make sure you never say it to someone else. The next morning, before checking out, Diane walked into the hotel restaurant. She personally thanked every server, every cleaner, every cook, and every housekeeper by name. As I watched from the lobby, I realized something far more valuable than revenge had happened. She hadn't just discovered who owned the resort,